Hi, Howard, great to see you again yesterday. Absolutely fantastic session. You came to the session obviously struggling with the quality of your strike as well as direction. You'd lost the ability to strike that ball cleanly time after time. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to keep the footage of Charlie Wee running as I go over the changes that we made, just for your reference as you're watching this back. The main gist of the lesson was that you move off the ball too much. The main criteria for consistent ball striking is that you hit the ball, then the turf. In order to do that, you can see Charlie Wee here on the left stays very, very centred, and as a result can return the club onto the ball first before striking the turf. What we see with amateur golfers and what we were seeing with you the other day is that the tendency is to hit the ground behind the ball, and then after a few of those shots the compensations start to creep in, and then we start to scoop and stand up to impact, resulting in topped and thin shots. So we're going to try and get a situation where we don't hit the ground behind the ball as much. If we look at why we were doing that at the start of the session, we were making a huge move off. We were moving the centre of the swing way over here, and obviously the more we move the centre of the swing off the ball going back, the more dependent we are on timing, because now we've got to return that centre to where it was during the hitting of the shot. And you can see on that one you don't quite get back to it. So too much of a move off the ball during the takeaway means that you're going to run the risk of hitting the ground behind the ball if you don't get the swing centre back to where it was at setup. What we see here now as your lesson progressed is a massively improved top of the backswing position. You're going to set up to it, you're going to take the club back, and you're going to stay much more centred going back, nowhere near as much of a move off. You're not keeping your head still, there's still a little bit of movement in your head, as we said in the lesson. That's going to produce quite a contrived movement, but we're keeping that swing centre where it was at setup. So the key thought on the way back is to stay centred, and then as you get used to that, the key thought on the way down is to keep moving through. You can see there, as you're coming into impact, your left hip is moving back. And if we take a look at Charlie Wee's left hip, it's always moving forward. So we look at these good players, what's happening during the swing, they stay centred and then move forward. And what I'm going to do now, whilst we've touched on that, is I'm going to bring the footage up of Mo Norman that we used during your lesson. Mo Norman was very much centred, then moving forward. As a result, he's probably the greatest ball striker that we've seen in golf. Consistently hit the ground out in front of the ball more than anybody else. So he hit the ball, then the turf. And if we see here with his swing, although it looks a little bit quirky, what we see is a player who stays centred, then moves forward. And those are your key thoughts, Howard. Stay centred and then move forward. Left the range with a big smile on your face, and judging by the thumbs up as I walk through the clubhouse today, you've enjoyed your golf much more than you did the day before. Well done, mate, and speak to you again in a couple of weeks' time.